What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Color Nation Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y live Wi-Fi battle today against Kenny, who is a subscriber/follower on Twitter. I've battled him a few times on the channel before, so yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He usually brings some pretty cool teams, and so we're in for a good one today. Now, like I said, we're doing mixed here, and actually before we get into the actual battle itself, just would like to remind you guys of our like goal for this video, which is 70 likes. So if we could break that, that would be absolutely fantastic. So do not forget to click that like button because it does help out a lot. Now today I'm bringing a Sun team, so it is mixed here. So I am bringing the Mega Charizard Y, Ninetales with a Heat Rock, Shiftry, which is going to be Focus Sash with Chlorophyll, also a Chlorophyll Life Orb Sawsbuck, Sableye, which is going to be physically defensive, bold-natured, and is actually carrying the Moonlight for that, the sunny day type thing, the sunny day weather condition, because in the sun, Moonlight actually recovers more HP than Recover would. And then we also have Starmie, which has the Rapid Spin and helps take care of some pesky rock types and things like that. Alright, my opponent is bringing quite a few OU threats here. He's got the, well, actually no, Goodra is not even OU anymore. It just dropped down to UU, and I think Slowbro is down in UU now too. Anyway, he also has the Zoomerl, Politoed. Oh, he's got, is this Mono Water? Mono Water with the exception of the Goodra. I'm losing my mind here. Empoleon and Feraligatr round out this team, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a weather war going on, and I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I really am tempted to say that he's going to lead off with the Politoed. Really tempted. I'm also really wishing that I had Thunderbolt on my Starmie, but I have Rapid Spin instead. Man, that's just not cool. Not cool. Alright, let's start off with the Charizard, because if he wants to lead off with the Politoed, then Mega Evolving will get rid of the Drizzle, and then he'll have to switch out and take a some kind of Solar Beam or something. And the only thing that would really be standing in my way is going to be that Goodra, so I'm kind of excited for this. This is going to be a good match. Really cool match. The weather team, and that was unintentional too. We did not plan that it was going to be like a weather battle or anything. So this should be good. This should be good. Let's see who he wants to start off with here. It's going to be the Politoed, so this is good for us, definitely, because we'll be able to get the sun up, get rid of that Drizzle, and his initiative is going to be gone. Now, I really feel like the best play for him here would be to switch into the Goodra, because he's going to resist Solar Beam and even a Fire type move. If I wanted to go for that, not that there'd be any reason, because I think everything on his team resists it. So Fire type moves are kind of out of the question. Part of me wants to really go for a Will-O-Wisp here to try to burn the incoming Goodra, but I don't want to make any crazy predictions. I really don't, because he might think that I'm Charizard X because I have the Ninetales for the Sun. So I still have that little bit of a surprise factor thing going for me, the little bit of the unpredictability that comes along with using Charizard. So I'm just going to go for that Solar Beam and Mega Evolve. He is going to withdraw. Out comes the Goodra. I'm telling you, the Goodra's coming out. Yep. Man. It was so obvious, and I decided to just I went against my gut on that one. This is what happens when you go against your gut. Bad things happen. Bad things happen. That shiny Goodra is pretty beautiful, I have to say. It's kind of like goldeny and such. It's kind of strange. Now I could go for the Will-O-Wisp coming up on this turn, but he very likely has T-Bolt. Solar Beam actually does a little bit more than I thought it was going to, so that tells me that he's probably not Assault Vest. He's probably something else. He might be like Hydration something or other, because with the rain that makes sense. Now, if a T-Bolt is coming my way, I kind of want to go into Sawsbuck, because everything else really doesn't like that too much. I could go into Shiftry as well to take that because he resists it, but the problem with that is that I do not want my Focus Sash to be broken. That would just be a bad time for me. Very bad time. And then I could get a Double Edge off and be in the sun with my Chlorophyll activated, and it's just going to be a nice time. Decisions. The other thing is that I don't think T-Bolt is just going to kill me off in one turn. So actually, no. Let's go for a Will-O-Wisp. Let's try to get some residual damage off. He might go right back into the Politoed. He looks like he's going to do that. He's going to withdraw. Out comes the Politoed. So all he wanted was to just get the Drizzle back up. And like I said, this is definitely going to be a weather war. But he does know I have the Ninetales, and he's actually going to avoid the Will-O-Wisp, so nothing is going to happen this turn, and now he can go for anything that he really wants to do. We're going to go into Ninetales. I am completely specially defensive, and the sun is going to come up, so if he wants to go for Scald, that's really not going to do anything at all. Really not going to do that much for a super effective move, and we're going to get the sun up for 3 extra turns, I'm sorry. 3 extra turns because of the Heat Rock. I'm kind of losing my mind here. He goes for the Hypnosis. Really? Hypnosis, Politoed, that's just silliness. I guess we don't have any option but to stay in here. I wish I knew he was going to do that because I would switch in Starmie to take that because I have Natural Cure. But that appears to not be in the cards here. So if he wants to go for Scald, I really don't want to switch in Sawsbuck on that. We're going to stay in and we're going to Toxic. But we're going to obviously stay asleep. Because this is first turn. You never wake up on the first turn. That just doesn't happen. Perish Song. Okay, well that is not cool. I feel like he might have Whirlpool coming up here. So with that being the case, I really would like to switch out. Really would like to switch out and not have to deal with that. Because that is some silliness. Definitely some silliness. Now what do I want to switch in? Starmie is kind of useless at this point. With the Politoed out here because I can't really touch it. I guess we could go back into Charizard. Decisions. I could also go into the Sableye because he can't do much to me and I have Recovery. I'm really worried about getting burned or Toxic though. That's like really bothering me right now. So let's actually go into the Charizard because we still have quite a few turns of Sun left and we can force this Politoed out and hopefully get a Will-O-Wisp off on the incoming Goodra. Now I'm expecting a Whirlpool here. No, he's going to just straight up withdraw. Okay, and he's going to go into the Goodra. Alright, so I could have stayed in to try to Toxic and get my Ninetales to wake up, but that is not happening. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Will-O-Wisp again, trying to get some residual damage on something. Be it the Goodra or the Politoed, I would be okay with either. I would prefer the Goodra because my team doesn't match up nearly as well against it as it does the rest of his team. Because I have the 2 grass types and I've got the Solar Beam on the Charizard, so I can take care of these water types a little bit easier than I can take care of this Goodra. Now, we are going to get the burn off on the Goodra, which is fantastic. He's going for the T-Bolt, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage, actually. More than I wanted it to. I can go for a Roost here because Thunderbolt is not going to be super effective. Because we're going to lose our flying typing. So let's go for that. He shows the Life Orb, so we can wear this thing down. Oh, he's going to actually switch out here. Alright. He's going to go back into the Politoed. He wants to get that rain up. And he might just go for another Perish Song at this point. I don't know, because he could predict me to go back into Ninetales. That's what I've been doing. That's kind of the pattern that we're in right now. But we at least got some residual damage off on that Goodra, and we were able to get a safe Roost off here with the Charizard. So that puts us in a good position. Definitely puts us in a good position. I really don't see any option other than going into the Ninetales here. I do not want this rain up. We need to get rid of this Politoed as soon as possible because that will shut down a majority of his team and just make his strategy a lot more difficult. I'm really actually hoping that he goes for a Scald here. That would be like best case scenario. No Perish Song. He does go for the Scald. We are fully specially defensive, so we should take that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Ninetales. 30 HP. That's all that he could muster out of that. So let's go for a Toxic here. And I don't know that we'll wake up this turn because this would only be turn 2 of sleep. And the chances of me waking up in 2 turns are pretty much slim to none because that just never happens for me. So that is unfortunate. So we've seen Perish Song, Scald, and Hypnosis on this Politoed. I really figured the other move might be Whirlpool, but he could be running a bunch of different things. He could have Toxic, although that's kind of silly to run with Perish Song. I was really thinking it would be Whirlpool. Maybe it's Ice Beam. That could make sense for some coverage. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I guess we just won't know. Or maybe it's Protect. That's a possibility. Anyway, we are approaching the 10-minute mark. And by approaching, I mean we're about 2 minutes out from that. But no casualties yet. He's actually going to switch out, go into the Azumarill. And it's shiny, and it is, yeah, it's a thing right now. So, let's see. I don't know what I want to do. I'm still asleep. So that is unfortunate, but we are able to burn another sleep turn. Now, if he goes for a play rough, as I switch in Sawsbuck, I'm screwed. I'm absolutely screwed because that will one-shot me. Cannot switch Shift 3. I need a safe switch for that. I really feel like a Water-type move might be coming because he knows that I'm specially defensive now, judging by the damage that the Skull did, which was absolutely nothing. I don't want my Ninetales going down here, so do I take the risk? Do I take the risk switching in Sawsbuck? I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know that Charizard can take two either. Two waterfalls. No, my defense is under 100. It's only at 98. There's no way with huge power, even in the sun, that I'm going to take a couple of waterfalls. So that is unfortunate. The only thing I can really do here is switch in my Starmie and try to, like, Psyshock it, maybe. Alright, that's what we're going for. Starmie is by far the most useless Pokemon on my team because we're up against all water types and I don't have anything to hit them with. He does go for the play rough, so it's a good thing I did not go into my Sawsbuck there, but we do get a free switch into something now. And that was a risky play because Ninetales actually resists the Fairy-type move. So that was either a really good prediction or he forgot that fire resists. I'm not sure which is more likely because I've forgotten that too. So it's just, there's possibilities there. Now, I kind of want to go into Shiftry and start setting up all kinds of things that he's not going to like. Because the sun is up and I'm faster. But, no, I don't know if that's the best idea. Don't know if that's the best idea. Getting rid of this Azumarill would help. Definitely would help. But we can just go... This is tough. This is really tough. I mean, even bringing Sawsbuck in here doesn't seem like the best idea. Actually, you know what? Let's make the very, very obvious play. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make an obvious play here, and we're going to go into the Darth Sable and just straight up go for a Will-O-Wisp and try to nerf this thing. He could very easily switch out to the, the Goodra, which is burned. But that would be fine because I have Protect, I have things to recover, so I can pretty easily stall that thing out, pretty sure, especially with the sun out, with the moonlight helping me out, all that stuff. So he's going to stay in and get burned. He might be going for a play rough again. He might actually be locked into that. And that is going to do a lot of damage. But we are able to survive it thanks to the burn. If that Will-O-Wisp missed, we pretty much just lost the entire game. That would have put us in such a terrible, terrible position. Absolutely awful position. So now what we can do is we can Protect and then go for a Moonlight the following turn. He might be locked into play rough. That might be a Choice Banded set. It's very, very possible that that is the case. That is like super possible. Super duper whooper pooper possible. Let's go for Protect or Moonlight. I'm going to say Protect. I do think he's going to stay in here and try to kill me off. He does stay in. So this Protect will help us rack up a little bit of burn damage. Not much. I mean, burn stalling really doesn't do that much because it's only, like 12% per turn? Something like that. We can go for the Moonlight. Unfortunately, I don't have PP ups on this Darth Sable, so my Moonlight only has 5 PP, so I need to be very, very careful with how many times I'm using it and that kind of thing. He's going to stay in again, And we could probably switch in Ninetales again pretty safely, or honestly, we can switch in anything at this point. But I wanted to get back up to close to full health. He's going to play rough again, and that brings us back down right to where we were before. But with the lefties, actually, we're a little bit above where we were before, so that's pretty good. Got the Will-O-Wisp damage off. We can go for a Protect here. I get. Are we really doing this? Are we really burn stalling in Azumarill? Azumarill so good. So good, it's just not even funny. I guess we can Protect and then switch into Charizard. We're going to Protect not to get the damage off, but to get a little bit of lefties recovery without wasting a Moonlight. That could be very predictable, and then he can just switch out, but he does not. He's going to stay in and go for a Play Rough again. He's definitely choice. He has to be choice banded. I mean, and there's really no reason for him to go for any other move, to be fair. So I guess it's possible that he's like Citrus. We would see like next turn if he's Citrus, it would activate. But I don't really have time to stay in here. I don't want to waste another Moonlight at this point. So I kind of want to just switch into... What do I want to switch into? Kind of want to just switch into... Am I running out of Sun turns, though? That is what I'm worried about. I'm honestly a little bit worried about that. We're going to switch into the Charizard here. And if the Sun goes down this turn, that's fine. I'm pretty much just going to roost up anyway. I want to get my Charizard back to full health. I mean, I know it's kind of close. He's going to go for the Ice Punch, so he very clearly is not choice banded. Maybe he predicted the switch there. We are out of Sun turns, so that is unfortunate, because now he can start waterfalling and all kinds of other shenanigans that we don't like to see. So let's go for a Roost here. I'm pretty sure a Waterfall will be coming, but he cannot one-shot. Oh, he's going to Aqua Jet. Uh-oh. That was not quite enough. It was close. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm not playing too well lately. I'm really not. So we're going to get almost back up to full health. And there we go with the burn damage. We really have done nothing but stall this thing. That's all we are doing. Because I really don't have anything that can just come in and kill it. I need a safe switch. It's at a point now where Sawsbuck can come in and kill it. But again, need the safe switch. We absolutely have to have that safe switch. Now I kind of want to go into my Ninetales here. I mean, that's just unnecessary damage at this point. It really, really is just unnecessary damage. But if he goes for the Play Rough and I bring in Sableye, that's going to be a problem. We're going to go into the Ninetales, and I actually really need to plug in my 3DS because it is dying on me, and that's not good. Let me just plug this in really fast. Alright, we are all good to go, and the Charizard switching out, Ninetales coming in. We'll see what he wants to go for here. And, oh yeah, the Drought is activating too. Getting that Sun back up is going to be very helpful. He does go for the Play Rough, so I'm so happy I did not switch back into the Sableye. I think he honestly predicted that, and that may have cost him here because, really, what item is this thing? I wonder if it's Assault Vest. Because we've only seen attacking moves, and we haven't seen any kind of recovery item. No Citrus Berry, no Lumberry, obviously. Not Choice Banded. I can't think of anything that it could be besides the potential, whatchamacallit, Assault Vest. Let's go for the Flamethrower here. He could very easily just Aqua Jet, but the Sun is up, so it's not going to do that much. No, it doesn't really do anything at all. And we burn another turn of Sleep. Ninetales is still asleep. How are you still asleep? That's what, oh, it was only 3 turns. Okay, that's not that bad. Gonna go for the Flamethrower again. We're going to have to take yet another Aqua Jet, which, I mean, it's not doing a lot of damage, but it's just damage that I don't want to have to take. Finally, Ninetales waking up, and it's actually gonna pick up a kill here. So Ninetales getting the KO on an Azumarill after a mega stall fest there. That was the only time I hit it. That was the only time I hit it. All of that damage was just burned. That's terrible, but I seriously had nothing for it. In comes the Politoed. And what can I do to this thing? I guess I have to switch back into Charizard. That's very predictable. But the Scald isn't going to do too much, I don't think. Not with the Sun up. Getting rid of this Politoed is like #1 priority. He keeps, somehow I haven't been able to do any damage to it yet. It's just been constant switching to get momentum. This feels like Gen 5 right now, but the sunlight and the rain just keeps, you know, fading alternately. He goes for the Hypnosis and we avoid the attack, thankfully. That would have been terrible. That would have been absolutely horrendous to have Charizard fall asleep. I almost want to switch out again to prevent that, but I don't have Starmie because I just let it die, basically. So that would have been good sleep fodder because it has the natural cure, but we're going to go for a Solar Beam here. If he wants to switch into Goodra, that's fine because it does have the burn. He is going to withdraw. Once we get this Goodra out of the way, which is coming in right now, then we'll have way more room, more wiggle room to start taking on the rest of his team, and eventually he's going to run out of things to switch into. This is the only other thing on his team that is going to resist grass-type moves, so he's going to have to start foddering other things. So the Goodra comes in, takes the Solar Beam, takes the burn damage. He could go for a T-Bolt here. I don't know that we can take him out with a Flamethrower from this range, and I don't really want to take all that damage. So we're going to Roost up, and then we'll Flamethrower the next turn, because after the burn and Life Orb, we should be able to take it out. And also, we lose our flying typing, so this electric type move that he's going to go for is not even going to be super effective, so that's great. He's actually going to go for the rest. So I should have went for the Flamethrower. I didn't even think about that because he's definitely a hydration set. Definitely a hydration set. Does he have the Lumberry? He does not have the Lumberry. So what we need to do now is switch in. Is he going to switch into Politoed now? That would be terrible. That would be absolutely terrible. We're going to switch into Sawsbuck. We're going to go for a Swords Dance and start trying to destroy things. So out goes the Charizard. In comes the Sawsbuck. And no, he's just going to stay in and stay fast asleep. So we're going to get a free Swords Dance up here because he's not going to wake up. He very clearly does not have the Sleep Talk, which I also was a little bit afraid of. But on a hydration set, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to have Sleep Talk because normally you would just be instantly waking up. So, wow, we are 20 minutes into this battle and both teams have 5 Pokemon apiece. Out goes the Goodra, in comes the Slowbro. Interesting, because, well, it's not interesting, I can't do anything to it, basically, is what it comes down to. Even at +2 with Life Orb, I don't think that a Horn Leech is going to kill this thing. Perhaps I should have went into Shiftry, because he's going to go for an Ice Beam, and that most likely will just kill me off. Huh. I could switch into Charizard to get the sun back up and then go for, we'd be right back where we were before. Not really interested in that. I don't want to play a stall game anymore. We've already stalled out that Azumarill and that was silly. So let's go for a Horn Leech and try to get as much damage as possible on this thing before we go down. And actually, is that a crit? That is not a crit. Sawsbuck absolutely demolishing a Slowbro. That is insane. That is insanity. I can count on one hand how many times I've seen Slowbro KO'd, one-shotted by a physical move. Holy cannoli. In comes the Politoed, so his physical wall is gone. And that means once we get Sun back up and we can get Shiftry in here, this is going to be problems for his team. I'm going to go for a Horn Leech now. I should outspeed this Politoed unless he's not Scarfed. He's going to just withdraw, maybe go into the Goodra. Yes. Alright, that was a good play on his part. I probably should have predicted that and went for the Double Edge. But again, I should still outspeed. Look how much damage that does. Is that a crit? That has to be a crit. Okay. I was about to say because I know I'm at +2 and I have Life Orb, but that is a resisted hit. And Goodra is such a tank. The problem with that now is that this Goodra is going down. Because we're going to Horn Leech, and he cannot outspeed to go for a rest. And he can't really switch anything in. So Goodra goes down, and that is unfortunate. I'm not going to lie, that is very unfortunate and hacksy that happened at that moment. Because, I mean, I guess it didn't matter that much. Because we still would have outspeed with Sawsbuck and probably KO with the Double Edge, but we'd have to take all of that recoil damage So, I mean, it would have an impact. It wasn't game-breaking, but it definitely would have an impact on the game. We're going to go for a Horn Leech here because we do outspeed. And finally getting this Politoed out of the way. Will that be a one-shot? It will. Sawsbuck just destroying everything in sight. Getting back up to full HP. We're going to take the Life Orb recoil here in a second. There it is. It's like, what is it? What is Life Orb recoil? What is the actual percentage? Is it 10%? I feel like it's 10%. Anyway, there's a huge gaping hole that was just poked into this man's team. So this is a bit unfortunate for him. He's going to go into the Empoleon thinking he resists the Double Edge and the Horn Leech. But we have the Jump Kick, and as long as this connects, that should be a dead Empoleon. He's definitely not faster. Scarf Empoleon really is not a thing. He could potentially have the Aqua Jet, but that's not going to kill even in the rain. So Sawsbuck, who would have thought that Sawsbuck was excelling this much in the rain? Just let it get a Swords Dance up, and it apparently just kills everything. I mean, granted, this is a rain team, so Sawsbuck running through a rain team with all Water-type Pokemon is not that crazy. But it KO'd a Goodra. I know it got a crit there, but it would have KO'd it anyway on the next turn with a Double Edge, so that is a thing. The Feraligatr is going to come out now, and this thing has given me problems in the past when I've fought Kenny, but I don't think it's going to give me any issues today. Sawsbuck should outspeed this and take it out with a Horn Leech. Super effective. He's going to go for the Aqua Jet in the rain, you know, hope for a crit to get rid of this Sawsbuck. He does not get it, and in fact, judging by that damage, with a crit, that still would not have taken me out. So Sawsbuck getting the kill with the Horn Leech, getting back up to full health, which just is kind of like a kick below the belt. But that's just what it is. So Sawsbuck definitely, after all of that, the MVP of this match. It ended up being a 5-0, but it took almost a half an hour. Or was it over a half an hour? I didn't even look at the time. I don't know, I was guesstimating. Anyway, incredible match. So, yeah, the Weather Wars. It's like Gen 5 all over again. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you, Kenny, for the match. I'm sure we'll have another one. We seem to have matches all the time, and it's a lot of fun. So don't forget to leave a like on this video. Also, if you enjoyed it, does help out a lot. It helps us reach that like goal, helps the channel get noticed, and I do appreciate all of your support. So I will see you all for the next battle. But until then, game on.